and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris walked by the trash can where Cole had planted the bombs. Imagine how different our history would look if that bomb had detonated. Would that have stymied the revisionist history that claims January 6th was a day of love and patriotism, not the violent act of sedition that it actually was? Who knows? But now January 6th is coming back to haunt Donald Trump, not to mention federal prosecutors. Recall that Trump, on his first day in office, issued a blanket pardon to anyone who participated in the January 6th attack. Anyone. Regardless of the violence of their crime, the amount of damage they did to the Capitol building, or how many cops they assaulted, he gave a blanket pardon. Now lawyers for Brian Cole are arguing that Trump has already pardoned Cole, regardless of the charges in his indictment. Speaking to a local Fox affiliate yesterday, Cole's lawyer, Mario Williams, explained why Trump's pardons should also apply to Cole, thus making his federal indictment void. Take a look.
The judge called this a January 6th adjacent case during the hearing. Do you agree with that?
For purposes of the pardon, I absolutely agree with it.
What do you mean?
So, I think you have to employ some kind of common sense as applied to the allegations. So if the allegations are that he went out there and he set down these components and that they were found on January 6th, the judge says that it's a part of January 6th. The pardon says that you're allowed to get a pardon for everything related to the events that occurred on or at the Capitol on January 6th. Like I said, we're going to talk about that at a later date, but I do believe that.
Sounds like you believe it's a strong argument he should get a pardon.
100%.
Of Trump's pardon is broad. It says the president will grant a full, complete, and unconditional pardon to all other individuals convicted of offenses related to events that occurred at or near the United States Capitol on January 6, 2021. The government says Cole confessed to making the homemade devices and walked investigators through how he built them before driving to Washington, D.C. and placing them outside the RNC and DNC headquarters the night before Congress certified Joe Biden's victory. When the government put details of what they call Cole's confession in a public filing, Cole's lawyers demanded to see the evidence of the confession. Williams says he's now watched a recording of Cole's interview after the arrest. He says the statements that are in the government's filing are missing context, and at some points, the government is making affirmative false statements, he says.
But you're not saying the government's lying.
Well, I'm saying that I believe the manner in which the government made those statements is incorrect and acontextual, and in some instances, absolutely false.
So a lie. The government's lying about what he said.
Some of the representations that the government made, in our opinion, are false.
Well, there you have it. It's important to note in that clip that the judge in the case has already called Cole's case a January 6th adjacent case. For that matter, former Department of Justice prosecutor Ankush Kardori has already warned that this would happen in a piece he wrote for Politico earlier this month. Kardori argues essentially the same thing that Mario Williams argues, that Trump's use of language in the pardon was so broad it would apply to Brian Cole as well. Thus, Donald Trump may be doubly responsible in this case, first for spreading lies about the 2020 election, which Cole cited as his motive for planting the bombs, and again for pardoning Cole before he could even face real prosecution. So please, tell me again how the January 6th insurrectionists were patriots who were wrongfully accused in a partisan witch hunt. Brian Cole attacked both parties with his bombs, trying to literally blow up the American system. And now Trump's abuse of that system could cost him, and the rest of us, even more dearly. Remember to subscribe to the David Reddish Show channel to stay up to date on this case and all other news in American politics. I'm